Hello and welcome to the class. My name is Daniel, and today we're going to be talking about how to understand what distractors are in the IELTS exam. If you have a question for us, you can go to the top of the screen and click on the chat icon to send us a message. This is the first of two classes and will last just over 20 minutes. First, we're going to talk about what distractors are, and then we're going to talk about how we can recognize them and avoid them in the IELTS exam. So by the end of the session, you'll be more aware of how distractors are used in the IELTS exam. During the class, there'll be questions for you to answer. These will be below the video, and I'll tell you when you need to answer them, and I'll give you 10 to 15 seconds for each one. So let's start by looking at what distractors are. Well, distractors are answers that look like the correct answer, but are actually incorrect. So they use keywords in the text and answer to take the student's attention away from the correct answer. So they create a situation where you'll read a question and you'll look in the text and you think, yes, A is the correct answer. But actually, they've distracted you. They've used some words in there. Maybe it's the same word in the text and the answer, and you think, that's the correct answer, but they've distracted you in this way. So we call these things distractors, and they happen a lot in the reading test. Okay, so we're going to take a look at a particularly common type of question that comes up in the IELTS exam, and it's this type of question, which is multiple choice. Now, multiple choice questions are quite tricky because they often have distractors in them. Because they have more than one answer option, so they have 3 or 4, in that situation, that means that one answer is correct and the others are all going to be distractors. So it's really important to analyze it and really check which is the correct one. Now, the first step that you want to do whenever you get a question like this is to highlight the key words in there. And we're going to look at what do we mean by key words. Well, keywords for starters are nouns and noun phrases. So like in here, we've got the writer, we've got the word her eyes, we've got her exam as well. So I'd want to highlight those things there. Then you'd want to highlight verbs and verb phrases like go to bed, hurt, doesn't sleep well, and wanted to feel good. They're all the verbs or verb phrases, and they're very important. The following thing would be adjectives, another key word there. And here we've got the words very tired and 100% sure are adjectives. And then the final thing that you'd want to highlight is all the adverbs or the adverb phrases. So here we've got why. I've also got the word early. I mean, you could say that's part of the verb phrase, go to bed early. And we've got the next day. It's a noun, but it's acting like an adverb in this sentence. So once you've done that, then you're ready to start trying to find the answers to the question. But that should always be the first step with pretty much every IELTS question, and particularly with the multiple choice ones. So we've got the highlighted question here and answers, and you can see here we've got the sentence which contains the correct answer somewhere. Now, what I would like you to do first is to look at question 1 below the video and read that sentence and see if you can choose the correct answer. Okay, let's have a look together. We'll go through one at a time. So let's see. Why did the writer go to bed early? She was very tired. Well, let's have a look. It says, that night, exhausted, I went to bed at 8 p.m., knowing that I needed to be 100% for the following day's exam. Now, if we have a look here, very tired and exhausted have the same meaning. But we want to know, why did she go to bed? And here it doesn't say she went to bed because she was exhausted. Here it just says, that night exhausted, I went to bed. That means she felt exhausted when she went to bed. It doesn't say that's the reason or that's why she went to bed. So this is what we call a distractor. The synonym or the key word has the same meaning, but it doesn't give us the correct answer to the question. Now let's look at the second one. So we can see here it says she is 100% sure that her eyes hurt when she doesn't sleep well. But if we look at this, we can see 100%. So they look the same, but they have different meanings in these two sentences. So in this one, she's 100% more. That means she definitely knows. However, in this one here, she said that I needed to be 100%. Now, when you are 100%, that means that you feel good. You feel awake and yeah, good. So 100% here and 100% here have two different meanings. So that is another example of a distractor where the meaning of the word is not the same. One tip is that if it's the exact same word, 100% and 100%, it's probably not the correct answer. So now let's look at C. Well, it says she wanted to feel good for her exam the next day. Okay, we can see here it said wanted. I went to bed at 8 p.m. knowing that I needed to be, okay, wanted, needed to be, they're synonyms more or less. To feel good, we said be 100%. That means feel good. If you say, oh, I'm 100%, that means you feel good. So wanted and feel good for her exam the next day and the following day's exams, they're synonyms as well. So we can see that C is the correct answer because all of the parts are paraphrased or have synonyms here. All the keywords are in there. So it's important, very important, not to just look for one keyword in the text. You have to find the part that you need, read it quite carefully to make sure all of the parts of the answer are in the text. Let's have another bit of practice. So here's another question. It says, the reaction of her friends to the news was A, largely positive, B, that of congratulations all round, and C, a general lack of enthusiasm. So let's look at this keywords again. We've got here reaction of her friends to the news was largely positive, congratulations all round, or a general lack of enthusiasm. So these would be the key words here. Now I'm going to bring up the sentence here, and I would like you to look at question 2 below the video and see if you can choose the correct answer. I'll give you 10 to 15 seconds for that. Okay, well, let's have a look at this together then. So we'll go bit by bit. So the reaction of her friends. So when I told my friends, that's the reaction of her friends to the news. So the news is I'd won the race. So I've got synonyms there. Only a handful congratulated me. So here we've got congratulations and congratulated. So you might think B is the correct answer because you've got congratulations and you've got congratulated. But the important thing here is the adverb all round. And all round means everyone. So if we say congratulations all round, that means everyone congratulated me. However, here it says only a handful. That is not the same as all round. That just means some. Some people congratulated me. So B is not the correct answer, and it has this congratulated is a distractor. It says, the rest, so my other friends, met my announcement. So the news is another synonym, is announcement, with a look of disinterest. So disinterest is a lack of enthusiasm. The rest would be generally, so most of them. So C here would be the correct answer. So it's very important, again, not to just look for one word and to look at adverbs, the difference with here being between all round and just a handful. Now we're going to see another situation when distractors are used, a different question type. So here we have a matching features question, and it says which computer, A, B, or C, matches the statement. And here's the statement: it processes media information with ease. Now, the first thing we need to do again is to think and highlight the key words here. So here we'd say it means the computer. Processes would be an important word. Media information would be another keyword, and with ease is another keyword. And in this task, you have three descriptions of computers, and you have to match one of them to this statement here. So what I'm going to ask you to do is look at question 3 below the video and choose which computer matches that statement. Okay, let's go through one computer at a time. So we're going to start with A. So it says, this computer's media player is very intuitive. So we've got here media player, and here we've got the word media in this. So again, maybe someone taking the IELTS exam might see media, and you might look at media player, and you think, there we go, okay, that's got a key word in it. But media player and media information is not the same meaning. Just the word media is the same, but media information and media player are different. If we keep, so that is a distractor. If we keep looking, so this computer's media player is very intuitive and easy to use. Okay, so here we had the word ease and easy, they're related, but with ease means it's quick and it does it simply, it does it easily. But easy to use is saying the person can use this computer easily. So it's not that the computer processes information easily, but it's that people can use the computer easily. So there are two different meanings in those sentences. So again, that's another example of a distractor. So then it says, but when it comes to processing capacity, so processing capacity, which is what we want to look at, processing. So that keyword's important. It is somewhat lacking. So lacking and with ease, lacking means it's very slow. With ease means it can do it very quickly. So we can see here that if we read the full sentence, there are some distractors, but overall, it is not correct. Now let's look at this second one. So it says, B, the hard drive on this machine is huge and can hold a lot of information. So again, we've got here media information and here hold a lot of information. But there's two different things that a computer can do. One is process information and the other is hold information. And they are two different things. So if a computer holds information, it means it can store it. So it has a big hard drive. If it processes information, it means it can use the information quickly or access the information very quickly. So those two things are different functions of a computer. So again, the word information here is a distractor. And then if we continue that sentence, it says, however, it does feel a bit sluggish at times. Feel a bit sluggish? Sluggish means it is slow, a bit slow. So that's the opposite of process information with ease. So this sentence again is not correct and it contains distractors. Let's now look at C. So, okay, we said A is not correct. We said B is not correct. So C must be correct, but let's just check anyway to make sure. So it says this has a quad-core 3.8 gigahertz processor. So processor here is the noun of processes. Processes is a verb, processor is a noun. So again, you can look for this keyword. You would have seen processing here and processor here. So just looking for the one keyword will not be enough to find the correct answer. Let's keep reading. Which is particularly rapid. Rapid means fast, very fast. So rapid could mean with ease. So it processes things with ease. When working with Photoshop and other design programs. So Photoshop and other design programs is media information. Let's just show that more clearly. We've got processes, processor here. We've got with ease, particularly rapid, and media information is Photoshop and other design programs. So we can see that C is the correct answer because it contains all of the information in that sentence. And that's what you need to do. You need to check that all that information is in the sentence, not just look for one word or two words, because if you do that, it might be a distractor and you might get the question wrong. If you have a question for us, remember you can go to the top of the screen and click on the chat icon to send us a message. Now do the second class on this topic and complete the online training and activities. Thank you very much for joining the class. We'll see you again. Goodbye. Hello and welcome to the class. My name is Daniel and today we're going to be looking at understanding distractors. If you have a question after the class, you can go to the top of the screen and click on the chat icon to send us a message. This is the second of two classes and will last just over 20 minutes. First, we're going to look at how to deal with multiple choice questions, and then we're going to look at how to deal with matching information to paragraph questions. So by the end of this class, you should be more familiar with how to answer those two types of questions. During the class, there'll be times when you have to answer questions. These will appear below the video. I'll tell you when you need to answer them, and I'll give you 10 to 15 seconds for each one. So let's start with multiple choice questions. So what exactly are multiple choice questions? Well, they're questions in the reading that have 4 answers to choose from. So it'd be like A, B, C, and D. You have to choose one of them. Usually there's 2 different types. They could be either completing a sentence where you have the first half of the sentence and then you have 4 endings and you have to choose the correct ending. Or they could be answering a question where you have a question and you have 4 answers to that question. So those are the 2 different types of multiple choice questions you can get. They refer to just part of the text, not the whole text. So you don't have to read the whole text and jump around all over the place. It'll just be part of the text that you're looking at. You're trying to find the answer in there. So let's look at how to answer these types of questions. Well, the first step with most IELTS questions is to highlight the keywords. And that's the same here. By keywords, we mean the most important words in the question. And we're going to look at how to do this in a moment. And then you have to think of synonyms for them. So words that have the same meaning. Once you've highlighted the keywords and you've thought of synonyms, you need to find the part of the text containing the answer. So you quickly look for it and you go, okay, I think the answer is in here. When you've found that part of the text, you need to read that part carefully to see which answer is fully paraphrased. What I mean is which of the options, the 4 options, is 100% in there. Not just 1 word or 2 words, but the whole thing needs to be in the text. And which are distractors. So because there's 4 options, 3 of them are incorrect. So 3 of them will likely have distractors in them. And remember, if you're still not sure what the correct answer is, with multiple choice questions, you can just guess. You have 4 possible answers, so you have a 25% chance of getting it correct. So let's now see an example of a question. So we can see here we have a multiple choice question, and this one is a sentence completion. You've got the first half of the sentence here and 3 endings to it. Now, this is taken from the IELTS general training, and usually the reading text one is like a social survival. Okay, so it could be like notices or advertisements or something like that. And this type of question would come from that. So the first thing that we need to do is to highlight the keywords. So we've got the course and mainly here. Now, not just the keywords here in the beginning bit in the question, we also need to highlight the keywords in the answers as well. So here we'd have the course is mainly promoting, the verb, future developments, there's a noun phrase, in management, again another noun. The course is mainly based on, there's the verb, projects, noun, which are monitored by our team. There's like a verb phrase, okay? And then the final one, the course is mainly aimed at, it's the verb, those wishing and further their careers. So those would be the key words, and that's always the first step to answering a multiple choice question. Now, once we've highlighted the keywords, you can see them underlined here. We have the paragraph that we need to check to see which is correct in. So we found the part of the text. Now, obviously in the IELTS, you'd have a big text with lots of different parts. So we're imagining, okay, we've found the part that we need and we have it here in front of us. Now, what I'd like you to do is to look at question 1 below the video and see if you can choose which is the correct ending. I'll give you 10 to 15 seconds to try that. Okay, so the correct answer here is actually C. Now we're going to go through each one individually. So we're going to start with 8, as promoting future developments in management. Now, if we look through this paragraph, you'll see that we've got a few keywords here. We've got like promoting and promoted here. Now they look nearly the same, but they actually have different meanings. Here, promoting means like advertising or encouraging, that type of thing. But promoted here means to get a better position, a better job. So they look the same, but different meanings. So that would be a distractor. Also, you can see here we've got management and management. Now you can see management a few times in here. Now, if you see the exact same word from the question in the text, that should make you think, is this a distractor? Is it too easy? Because that would probably be too easy if it's got the same word in the question and the same word in the text. And then it does have the word future but this is just saying in the future, whereas this is specifically talking about future developments. So it doesn't have all the information from this sentence here. So it can't be that one. Again, we can look at B and we can see a few words in there, like projects, and here projects, here monitored, and here monitoring. But here monitoring projects is the type of project, whereas here project which are monitored by our team. So we've got team again here. These have totally different meanings. This is project which our team look at and monitor, whereas these are the types of the project. So this is a monitoring project, and this is a team building project. So although it has those words there, they're distractors. So you have to really read the whole sentence to make sure that all of it is contained in there. So let's look at the correct answer now. So it says it's aimed at, okay, which you could say this course is ideal for, aimed at, people focusing on improving your team skills, such as planning and monitoring. This is the perfect course, so again, ideal for or aimed at. New team leaders, or those wishing to, hoping to, same meaning. Further their careers and be promoted to a management position, they have the same meaning as well. So we can see that all of this sentence is paraphrased in the text. It's not just one or two words. All of it is there. And that's what you need to do. You're not just looking for one word or one keyword. You're looking to see if the whole sentence is in there. Now let's turn our attention to matching information to paragraph questions. So they're a little bit different. So let's have a look at what they are. Well, these are questions where you have to match a paragraph or section of a text to a statement or a piece of information. Now, unlike the multiple choice questions, which just focus on a small part of the text, these focus on the whole text. Because it's talking about paragraphs, you sometimes have to look at paragraph A and then paragraph C and paragraph E. So you're jumping around all over the text. And the answers are not in order usually. So the answer to statement 1 might be paragraph E, whereas the answer to statement 2 might be paragraph B. So you might have to first read E, then go to B, then go to F, then go to A. So you just often have to jump around with these types of questions. But let's look at how to answer them. Well, again, you still need to first look at the statements and highlight the keywords in the questions or the statements, and again, think of synonyms for them, just like we did with those multiple choice ones. Then what you need to do is skim the text. So read the whole thing very quickly just to get a general idea for it. So you'll have an idea of what each paragraph is about, roughly. Then you reread the questions again. So you look back at the questions and try to guess which paragraph the sections are contained in, okay? So you'll look back at the questions, you go, ah, yeah, okay, I think this one is in paragraph E. I think this one is probably in paragraph F, okay? So after that, you go to that paragraph or section and scan for the keywords. So the keywords that we've highlighted here, you then look around that for the keywords, and then you see if the information in that paragraph section matches the question. So you'll find some keywords and then you check it with the question to see if it matches. So that's how we'd approach that. And let's take a look at a couple for some examples. So here is an example of a matching information to paragraph question. And this is how it would look in the exam. It says, for which course are the following statements true? So that just means you have these statements here, and you're going to match them to a course, which will be a paragraph. And it says, write the correct letter A to C in the boxes 1 to 4 on your answer sheet. And here it says, note, you may use any letter more than once. So that's really important thing to remember, is that paragraph A could be the answer for 2 of these statements, okay? If you've used A once, don't think, okay, now I can forget about A, because maybe A is also the answer to another question. So you can use them more than once. That's important to remember here. So again, like we said, with the multiple choice questions, with these matching information to paragraph ones, you have to start by highlighting the key words. So let's do that together. So it says, you attend this course if you want to get a better job within your current company, so your company at the moment. So those would be the key words in there: verbs, verb phrases, and nouns. So it's perfect, so adjective, for people whose hours change a lot, but they still want to learn. So we've got a verb phrase here, we've got a noun phrase, and we've got an adjective. That's what we mean by key words. This course will improve your ability to get people to collaborate well together. Again, a verb phrase and another verb phrase, improve your ability, and the noun, this course. This course is ideal, adjective, for people who have their own company. Okay, again, a noun phrase. So there we go. We've gone through each one and we've highlighted all of the key words. Now, what we're going to do is have a little bit of practice answering these. So I would like you to look at question 2 below the video and see which of these match to paragraph A. Now, remember, it may be more than one answer in this situation. Maybe it could be 3, it could be 2, it could be 1. But which of these statements match to paragraph A? And I'm going to give you 10 to 15 seconds to try that now. Okay, so let's now go through the answers together. Well, the correct ones here are 1 and 3, and we're going to see how they are. So let's start with the first one. So it says, you attend this course if you want to get a better job is the key word. But if we look at this second sentence, it says, this is the perfect course for new team leaders or those hoping to be promoted. So be promoted, get a better job, they're synonyms. Also, it says, within your current company. Now, because it says new team leaders that want to be promoted to a management position in the future. So that means they don't want to move to a different company. They want to stay in their company and move from one position to a higher position in that company. So that would be synonyms for in your current company. So we can see that this course is perfect, as it says here. You do it if you want to get a better job within your current company. So all of that is paraphrased in there. So that's the correct answer for 1. But A is also the correct answer for 3. As we said, you can use the letter more than once. So let's have a look now at that. Well, it talks about it's perfect for people who, the course will improve your ability to get people to collaborate well together. And if we read this first sentence, it says, ideal for focusing on improving your team management skills, such as planning and monitoring projects and team building. So team building is getting people to collaborate well together, So all of that is team building, has the same meaning. So this course is also perfect for that. So 1 and 3, both the answer is A. Let's now look at paragraph B. And again, I'd like you to look at the question below the video and choose which statement or statements match to paragraph B. Okay, so the correct answer here is statement 4 matches to paragraph B. Let's have a little look. It says this course is ideal for people who have their own company. Now, if we look through, it says through a series of workshops and collaborative activities with other participants, you will learn how to better identify the key strengths and weaknesses of your business. Okay, have their own company. So if you have your own company, it's your business. And this course is ideal for those currently running businesses. If you're running a business, that means you have your own business. Here we've got the word ideal, and here again it's got ideal. So this course matches to 4. Now, just be careful that we had the word collaborate here and collaborative. That was a distractor because this is just saying that there are workshops and collaborative activities. It's not saying what the course is good for. Let's now move on to paragraph C. And again, look below the video and see if you can match the statement to the paragraph. Okay, well, there's only one left. It's number 2. So let's see why that's the correct answer. So it's perfect for people whose hours change a lot, but they still want to learn. Okay, so here it says a convenient way to learn the basics of marketing with a flexible timetable to suit you. So if your hours change a lot, then you need a flexible timetable. Again, it says study at times that fit into your schedule and work to complete in these core modules. So that's the key bit, is the hours changing and that this fits your schedule or has a flexible timetable. So it matches perfectly with that one. Okay, so if you have any questions, please go to the top of the screen and click on the chat icon to send us a message. Now, remember to complete the online training and practice activities. And thank you very much for joining the course. We'll see you again. Goodbye.